In Buddhist teachings, life is believed to be a continuous cycle of learning. But what happens when someone crosses the threshold of death and returns with a terrifying message from the other side? Imagine a woman who faced death, saw Jesus, and received a warning so harrowing it could change the way you see your own existence. If you think you've heard everything about the afterlife, prepare yourself. This account will challenge your beliefs and make you think what truly matters in life. What if everything you believe about the soul's purpose, destiny, and the afterlife is incomplete? This near-death experience not only unveiled a divine message but also brought to light reflections that resonate with Buddhist teachings. Could there be connection between what Jesus revealed and the spiritual principles taught by Buddha? You are about to uncover truth that may be uncomfortable but are essential for your spiritual journey. Have you ever considered that you might be ignoring something crucial in your life? This video will challenge your ideas about the afterlife, uniquely juxtaposing Christian and Buddhist perspectives. The terrifying message this woman brought back is not just a warning, it is an opportunity for you to reflect, transform, and possibly change the course of your existence. If you are seeking answers to life's greatest questions, stay until the end. This content promises to surprise you. Before we begin, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and activate the notification bell. This simple gesture helps us bring more profound content like this. Also, share in the comments what you believe about the afterlife. Your participation is crucial for continuing this conversation and seeking answers together. In Buddhism, near-death experiences are often seen as moments of unfinished transitions. These experiences occur when the soul is not yet ready to leave the earthly plane because of an incomplete mission or a lesson that still needs to be learned. It is believed that when someone crosses the boundary between life and death, but returns, it is because they have not yet achieved their dharma, the ultimate purpose in this existence. These experiences are interpreted as messages from the universe or karma itself, bringing fundamental lessons that must be understood for the soul to evolve fully. When someone returns from a state of clinical death with such an intense account as this case, it is a sign that there is something urgent to communicate, not only to them but to everyone around them. The messages she brought from Jesus reflects a profound warning about how we live humanity's spiritual disconnection and the need to realign with our divine purpose. This perspective is not only terrifying but also deeply meaningful, as if the universe itself is calling our attention to something we can no longer ignore. In the Buddhist context, the vision of a spiritual being like Jesus does not contradict the teachings of the Dharma. Instead, it can be seen as a manifestation of higher consciousness, trying to guide humanity. When someone returns with such a clear message, it suggests that their cycle of rebirth and learning is at stake. They may be destined to serve as a bridge between the divine and the human, helping others find the path to awakening before it is too late. The question that arises is, are we ready to listen and act upon these messages? It is essential to reflect that according to Buddhism, these experiences are our chance to reevaluate one's life. When the universe or enlightened beings intervenes in this account, it is because there is an urgency for us to align with our true purpose. These messages are not merely meant to inspire, but remind us that time is precious and that each moment we neglect our dharma is a step lost toward enlightenment. Anne was the kind of person many would consider an example of kindness and altruism. Despite her lack of religious beliefs, raised in a secular environment, she never felt the need to seek answers in God or any faith system. To her, the world was dubby. Hat could be seen and experienced, and that was enough. Her life was guided by simple principles: gratitude for what she had, generosity toward others, and the conviction that the good she did was its own reward even without religion. Anne had a huge heart and helped everyone around without expecting anything in return. Everything changed drastically on a day that seemed like any other. While driving to work on a rainy morning, Anne suffered a severe car accident. The impact was so violent that she was strapped in the wreckage and lost consciousness before realizing what had happened. For 20 minutes, her heart stopped beating and she was declared clinically dead. What happened in that brief period forever changed her perception of life, death, and what lies beyond. When Anne left their body, it was as if an immense weight disappeared instantly. She described the sensation as surreal, where the concept of time ceased to exist. Everything was light, almost as if she were floating in an unknown space. Initially, there was only profound silence, but it was not empty. It was full, laden with peace and an indescribable presence. Looked around, Anne realized she was in a place that seemed boundless, enveloped by an intense light that did not blind her. Somehow she knew she was no longer on Earth. As her senses adjusted to that environment, Anne began to perceive details that seemed incredibly vivid. The colors around her were more vibrant than anything she had ever seen. The trees, fields, and even mountains seemed to radiate life, as if every element of the place was in perfect harmony. The sky was not just blue but a blend of golden and silver hues pulsating with divine energy. Anne realized that, although she was in a completely new place, she felt no fear. On the contrary, a sense of belonging overwhelmed her. While exploring, Anne heard something that resembled music, but it was not composed of human instruments. It was as if the very environment was singing a celestial symphony emanating from the air itself. She saw angelic figures moving through the space. They had glorious appearances, with majestic wings and serene expressions radiating lights so intense that it seemed almost impossible to look directly at them. Anne felt no discomfort. On the contrary, she felt embraced as if she were being protected by those figures. Anne noticed that the angels were in constant motion, yet everything seemed orchestrated perfectly. There was only order and harmony. As she walked through that space, she saw a great gate that appeared to be made of solid gold, adorned with precious stones that reflected the surrounding light in a dazzling way. The gate was open, and beyond it Anne glimpsed something even more astonishing: an entire city. The city had streets that seemed to be made of pure gold, and the buildings were so grand that no human creation could ever compare within this city. Anne felt a powerful presence that seemed to observe everything with love and authority. The streets were filled with joy, and the people she saw had expressions of absolute peace. There were no signs of suffering, only happiness and fulfillment. Anne realized that the very atmosphere of the city was different. Every breath seemed to fill her with energy that revived her. There was no need for words or explanations. Everything made sense, in a way she had never experienced before. She knew she was in a place described by many as heaven, exactly as the scriptures depict. Even with all the wonder around her, Anne began to feel that this was not just a visit, something greater was about to happen. She had the sense that everything she was seeing was not just to show her the beauty of heaven, but to prepare her for something deeper. There was a message, a mission she needed to understand, but she did not yet know what it was. As she moved forward, the environment seemed to grow even more magnificent. Anne felt she was being led to something that would change her life forever, and perhaps the lives of many others. While Anne explored the celestial city, an even more powerful presence began to fill the space. Suddenly the light around her intensified, and everything seemed to fall silent. In reverence, when she looked ahead, she saw a figure radiating unmatched majesty. It was Jesus. His presence was overwhelming, yet filled with indescribable love. He did not need to say who he was. Anne knew. He seemed to pierce her soul, seeing not only what she was, but everything she could have been. She felt a mix of peace and a sense of standing before someone who held all the answers to the deepest questions of existence. Jesus began to show Anne scenes from her life, like a movie playing before her. She highlighted her acts of kindness, gratitude, and willingness to help others without any religious belief. However, he also revealed something Anne did not expect: all the moments when she had ignored spiritual signs, neglected her connection with the divine, and lived without considering a greater purpose, despite all her goodness. Jesus explained that her soul was not yet ready to remain in that place. Her mission on earth was incomplete, preventing her from advancing. Jesus' message was clear but terrifying. Anne's time was not over, and her absence on earth could leave a void that would impact other people. She could not imagine. He showed her the suffering that could arise if she chose to stay, including its effect on her family, friends, and even strangers she would cross paths with in the future. Jesus gave Anne a choice: she could remain in heaven and forgo her mission, but it would come with consequences for other lives, or she could return to earth, finish what she had started, and live in alignment with her divine purpose. Anne felt the penetrating gaze of Jesus as she began to speak. His words were calm but carried an authority that resonated deep within her soul. He explained that it does not matter what religion someone follows, the doctrines they adopt, or the rituals they practice. In the end, what truly matters is the heart. They look at the hearts of people, not their appearances or the words they say. Many who consider themselves faithful and regular churchgoers believe they will be in heaven, but are from understanding the true meaning of kindness, love, and compassion. For Annie, it was a sigh. Each word stripped away what she thought she knew about the world. Jesus continued showing scenes of earth people using religion as a weapon to spread lies and division. She highlighted how many in the name of their beliefs were attacking and judging others for thinking or being different. These acts do not reflect God's love but spiritual blindness. I was not sent to divide but unite. Heaven is not for those who cause suffering and division, but for those who, regardless of their faith, live with kindness, mercy, and love in their hearts. Anne realized this was sad truth that transcended any specific belief system. Jesus also revealed how some people were using the church for personal gain, enriching themselves at the expense of others. Faith, he spoke firmly: those who exploit God's name for power, status, or wealth are not only leading their own souls astray, but also those who trust them. these will not find a place in the kingdom of heaven. And so images of leaders accumulating material wealth while ignoring the poor and needy, filling her with a mix of indignation and sadness. Jesus explained that the true spiritual call just to serve others, not to be served by them. Finally, the most important message became clear: only those with good hearts will be saved. Jesus emphasized that it is not outward appearances, temple attendance, or eloquent words that find a worthy soul, but daily actions, the ability to love unconditionally and a genuine desire to do good. Here reminded Anna that there is room for everyone in heaven, but it is necessary to cultivate a pure heart that reflects God's unconditional love. You have been sent back to remind people that there is still time to change the path as love, truth, and compassion. Understood that this message was not just for her but for all humanity. As Jesus' words echoed in Anne's hearts, something within her began to change. She felt a profound calling, a weight mixed with a clear purpose as she needed to return as perfect and peaceful as Shevan was. Anne realized her journey on earth was not yet complete. You have a choice, Jesus repeated, looking directly there. Anne knew that staying would mean giving up the chance to fulfill the mission he had just entrusted to her, to spread the message about the true meaning of love, compassion, and kindness. It was a monumental task, but she felt it was her destiny in that moment. Anne felt a pull, as if her essence was being drawn back to the physical world. The light around her began to fade gradually, but did not disappear entirely. She could still feel Jesus' presence, as if he were guiding her every step and had done a glimpse of heaven before everything began to darken again. A mix of emotions so overwhelmed her: gratitude for the experience, but also immense determination to make the most of the second chances she had been given back on the earthly planet. The paramedics continued their relentless efforts to revive her. One of them, exhausted, almost gave up but decided to try one more time. At that moment, something extraordinary happened. Anne's heart, which had been still for over 20 minutes, began to beat. Their breathing, previously non-existent, returned in faint gasp. She, coming back, one of the responders exclaimed, while another monitored her vital signs as they slowly stabilized. Everyone at the scene was astonished. What they witnessed seemed like a true miracle. Anne opened her eyes, confused but still feeling the echoes of her heavenly experiences. She was weak, but a new energy filled her soul. Although she could not speak immediately, she knew exactly what she needed to do. Her mind was clear. Jesus' message was not just for her, but for everyone. Her turn was not just a miracle. It was a call to a mission she knew she had to fully embrace, no matter how much courage and determination it required. Anne was no longer the same person who had left home that morning. Now she carried within her a greater purpose. After recovering from the accident and processing the depth of her experience, Anne made a decision. Her story could not remain a secret. She began sharing her account with friends and family, but she quickly realized that what she had to say went far beyond her close circle. Invitations for interviews started pouring in, and Annie accepted every opportunity to share the message Jesus had given her. Goal was clear: to bring the truth about what truly matters, to be worthy of heaven to as many people as possible. In interviews, and ascribed every detail of her experience with a sincerity that captivated audiences. She spoke about the indescribable beauty of heaven, the majestic presence of Jesus, and most importantly, the transformative messages she had received. Anne made it clear that she was not there to convert anyone to a specific religion, but to awaken people to the importance of living with a pure heart. It doesn't matter what you believe or where you go to seek answers. What matters is how you treat people, how you love, and how you cultivate kindness in your life, she would say in her interviews, moving those who listened. Anne's story quickly spread, and she became a beacon for people of different religions, and even for those who, like her before the accident, followed no faith at all. Anne often emphasized that salvation does not lie in appearances or rituals, but in the heart of each person. She warned of the dangers of hatred, hypocrisy, and exploiting faith for personal gain, emphasizing that true connection with the divine lies in love and compassion. Her words, often simple, profoundly touched the most skeptical individuals, as they came from an experience that transcended any specific doctrine. Anne participated in television programs, podcasts, and even gave talks in both religious and secular communities. Her story was not just an inspiring account, but a call for humanity to rethink how it lives. Every word Anne spoke carried the weight of an experience that had transformed her life, and people felt it. Many began changing their attitudes, striving to be more loving and compassionate in their daily lives. Anne knew she could not change the entire world, but she was certain of one thing: if she could touch one heart at a time, she would already be fulfilling the mission Jesus had entrusted to her. In her many interviews, Anne made a point of translating Jesus' message into terms that resonated with people of all beliefs. Inspired by Buddhist traditions, she began emphasizing that divine love knows no boundaries of religion or culture. It doesn't matter if you're Buddhist, Catholic, Muslim, theist, or follow any other spirit. Alpath, God loves all of you squally. We're not defined by labels or specific beliefs, but by how we live and love. What truly matters is our capacity to be kind and compassionate to one another. Anna stressed that the divisions created by humanity due to differing beliefs, opinions, or lifestyles are contrary to the greater purpose of divine love. She referred to Buddhist teachings about the interconnectedness of all things, saying in Buddhism, we learned that we're all connected like waves in the same ocean. Jesus showed me that the same is true in heaven. There is no separation, only unity, and as long as we're one earth we must live accordingly, united in love, not divided by hatred or fears. She also addressed the concept of karma, relating it to Jesus' words, we take every thought we nurture creates an impact. Being kind, loving others, and doing good is not just a Christian or Buddhist principle, it's a universal calling. What we plant with our attitudes will be what we're ape in the end. Jesus showed me that a pure heart is the way to heaven, but Buddhism reminds us that every moment is an opportunity to cultivate that heart. Finally, Anne delivered a powerful message that transcended any religious tradition. We need to stop dividing ourselves by dogmas or differences. In the end, it all comes down to how we live, how we treat each other, and how we choose to respond to the suffering and joy around us. Love is the foundation of everything. If we can love more and judge less, we will live closer to God, whatever name we give him. And that is the essence of what I learned in heaven. The message Anne shared resonates deeply because it transcends religious, cultural, and social boundaries. It is not about convincing anyone to follow a specific doctrine, but about reminding us that at the core of all spiritual traditions lies a common principle, love. When Anne speaks about the need to look into the heart, she echoes teachings presenting Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, Hinduism, and many other traditions. The heart in the spiritual view is where all divisions disappear, and the essential truth of who, where, is revealed. Her message is also a powerful reminder of the choices we make daily. Of 10, we're led to believe that good intentions or beliefs alone are enough to make us spiritual or worthy of salvation, but Anna reminds us, based on her experience, that it is in the small actions, in the compassion shown, forgiveness offered, and help given to others, that the true purpose of life is fulfilled. Love is not just an ideal, but a practice that needs to be lived every day, regardless of who, where, or what we believe. Reflecting on Anne's story invites us to examine our own journey. Are we living according to the values we claim to hold? Are we judging less and understanding more? Are we cultivating kindness in our thoughts, words, and action? These questions call us to deep self-reflection, not to blame ourselves, but to inspire us to be better every day in a world that desperately needs more love and fewer divisions. So in the end, Anne's message is not just a story about her near-death experience, it is a call for humanity to rethink how it lives. She herself said, it doesn't matter what you called or venify you believe. In him, what matters is what you do at the time you've been given. It is our reminder that salvation, enlightenment, or any other spiritual goal we seek begins with the choice to love more, judge less, and live with a pure heart. If this story touched you, if Anne's message resonated with your heart and made you reflect on your own journey, take the opportunity to support us. Subscribe to the channel, leave your like, and activate the notification bell so you don't miss transformative content like this. It's a simple way to help us bring messages of inspiration and hope to more people. Share this video with friends, family, or anyone you think needs to hear this today. And in the comments, share your thoughts about Anne's message. Have you ever had a similar experience or reflection? Let's build a community of love, respect, and mutual learning together. Until next time.